I'm with WeAreChange.
No, thank you.
Covering this from day one. It's not. I'm not really a media. I'm more just publicity for this thing.
Let's show them the rest of the car.
Well, I'm not going to answer any questions. I'm actually chatting here with my my bodyguard.
Where do you stand on ending the Fed?
Pardon me?
Where do you stand on ending the Fed?
I don't know enough about what ending the Fed would ultimately mean for capital markets in this country, because you have to have capital markets in this country. You know, if I could actually find someone who could explain to me how ending the Fed would affect positively or negatively the flow of capital in this country, then I would love to know that, because you can't not have strong capital markets in this country, or the country's going to go down the tubes. I think most people want change in this country, but they don't want the country to go down the tube. They don't want the country to become England.
So
they want the country to stay a place where you can work hard and you can, you know, I mean, I only have glib examples. You can be Steve Jobs and you can be sitting there staring at at an IBM computer and going, how do I make that smaller? And you can hold it in your lap. And then, you know, $475 million later, and he's built this company in this way. I mean, I think that's important. I think capitalism is worthwhile, and capitalism demands the flow of money. So I think that we need to have that. I don't know how the Fed, the dismantling of the Fed would affect that. I know that I don't want capital markets to be dismantled. What I want as a government, I want an SEC. I think the people that is our enemy, or the people that are, or I shouldn't say enemy, because that's a freighted word. I think that one of the institutions that is problematic for us is the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC. They don't do anything. They're totally in the pocket of the banks. The banks are going to do what the banks do. And this is going to sound like a really tough thing to say, but you want the banks to do what the banks do. You want the banks to do what banks do. But when the banks, like they're a hockey player that starts throwing their elbow in your eye socket, you want the SEC to throw the flag. The SEC never throws the flag.
Turning into a media event, it's
Yeah.
not supposed to be.
Alec, can you say anything about Ron Paul, one way or the other, publicly?
Not a media event, guys.
Just so you know, I overheard your conversation before about the Fed. Just so you know, it's a private bank that was ratified in 1913 by
No, I'm
Woodrow
aware of
Wilson.
what the Fed is. Yeah,
and our government borrows money from it. It's a private business. It's a private corporation that when we pay
Guys,
the
give up. Come on,
income
guys.
tax,
Come
the
on.
federal income tax, that money goes to paying off the debt for that.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That money-
I understand. What is your question, then?
No, I'm not asking. I'm just having a conversation. You're not taking any questions.
It's okay.
I'm just trying to tell you about the Fed.
Right. No, I'm aware of
and all
what the
that.
Fed is.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I'm not familiar with what. And I don't think anybody is really reasonably familiar with what dismantling the Fed would do to financial markets in
We
this
could
country.
print
I
money
don't know.
just like through Congress, just like JFK did and Abraham Lincoln.
Right.
And we all know what happened to those guys when they printed the greenbacks and money backed by our Congress and not private bankers like we're doing right now, which is one of the solutions people do that. So
He has the right to wander around the park just like everybody else.
but I thank you for coming here.
This is like a Woody Allen movie.
It's ridiculous.
Really bad about the conversation I was having about the Fed with your brother, right?
Okay, do me a favor.
Yeah.
You've made a lot of comments.
Too much.
to me tonight.
I know.
And I'm not really getting the content of what it is you're trying to communicate to me.
I want you to make an endorsement in order to end the Federal Reserve. That's what I want. I want your lips to say. I support Ron Paul. I support the conservative federal government.
Right.
That's
I
what
am not a
trying
supporter of
to
Ron
see.
Paul.
You're not a supporter of Ron Paul.
No. I mean, I got nothing against it, but
So
I'm not
are you a
supporter.
supporter of the Federal Reserve System?
No, I don't know enough about what the impact would be of dismantling the Federal Reserve, meaning if you were to do that, if you were to completely shutter the Federal Reserve, what would happen?
We would go
I
back
need someone to explain
we would
that.
go back to private banks and then
No
national
offense,
state
I'm not going
banks.
to take your word for that, though. I would need somebody else to explain that to me. But anyway, thanks. Good luck.
You all set?